Okay, so for this problem, it says that a suitcase is sliding down a loading chute at an angle of 31 degrees from the horizontal. I'm going to go ahead and draw my picture in here with my normal force coming in and my force of gravity. My force of parallel being parallel to that object. Alright, so we've got our force of friction with the formula being mu times our normal force. So to do this, we need to calculate the normal force. The normal force is mg cosine theta. That is the formula. We're going to plug in our mass, multiply that times our gravity, and then times cosine of our angle, which we know to be 31 degrees. We're going to multiply that out, and that gives us 247.8 newtons. We're going to take that value and multiply that times our 0.44 times the normal force that we just calculated, and that'll give us our force of friction. The next step is going to be calculating the force parallel. So we know that equation to be mg sine of theta. And once again, our angle is 31 degrees given to us in the problem. Multiply our mass, which is 29.5, times 9.8, times sine of our angle, which is 31 degrees. We're going to multiply all that stuff out to calculate and give us our force parallel. So once we do all that and go through the math, making sure our calculator is in degrees, not radians, we'll get approximately 148.9 newtons. The next step will be finding the net force. To do that, we're going to take 148.9 minus 109 newtons that we calculated for our force of friction, because to find the net force, we're going to take the force parallel minus the force of friction, and that'll give us 40 newtons. The last step, since the problem asks us to find the acceleration, is to plug in our values into Newton's second law, which says force equals mass times acceleration. We'll plug in the 40 newtons that we just calculated, the mass that was given to us in the problem, and that'll be able to give us our acceleration value of 1.35 meters per second squared. I don't know why it animated this way, but it's drawing in the rest of my picture now. Just make sure that you know that the force of friction will be going up the hill because it's working against that downward motion of the suitcase sliding down. I apologize. I hope this isn't a big problem, but it's probably way less confusing now that you can see the whole picture. The last thing that I want to say is make sure that you realize that 31 degree angle is both on the inside here and then also right here in terms of those two angles being equal if you needed to calculate something using sine, cosine in the problem, which we do when we find our parallel force.